permission. Her name is Kelli Raleigh, and she is here to speak on behalf of the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. She gave me so many amazing answers to my questionnaire. I'm going to go ahead and read like 90% of them. So feel free to get comfortable back there, Kelli. Her Hogwarts house is Ravenclaw, which is mine, so clearly we're best friends now. Her dumbest injury was that she broke her collarbone while learning how to juggle using skee balls. That is impressive. Her weird quirks that she learned from her parents is having conversations with other car drivers in traffic, like, you stay there, you merge, and then I'll merge. Okay, guys, we've got this. Nobody do anything stupid. So she's like the opposite of road ragers. She's like the stage mom who just really wants everybody to do well. She's hilariously bad at accurately estimating the appropriate Tupperware container size for leftovers. And this is my favorite. I haven't checked it out yet. I'm going to, and I will encourage all of you to do the same. For her pump-up music, she said there's this station on Google Play Music called Mom Jean Jams. I'm so tickled by this. She said also Eminem and INXS, but whatever, Mom Jean Jams, am I right? So yeah, Kelli's about to come out here and tell us about a very, very important issue, and I'm so excited for you to meet her. Come on out, Kelli.
So I have always been the type to wear my heart on my sleeve. From a very young age, I have been very good at identifying my feelings and expressing them to anyone. But for the last 18 years, I've also worn another organ on my sleeve, not as willingly, but with just as much openness and passion. I tell people that one day my pancreas got sick and he never got better. So when I was 18 years old, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease called type 1 diabetes. Now, type 1 diabetes can happen at any age, and it requires a person diagnosed to constantly rely on blood sugar checks and injecting insulin for the rest of their lives until we find a cure. But thanks to modern medicine and technology, no longer must we sharpen needles on a brimstone or rely on these giant backpacks, but rather we can quite literally wear our pancreas on our sleeve in the form of an insulin pump, which delivers insulin 24 hours a day, and a continuous glucose monitor, which monitors your blood sugar and sends it to a device like your cell phone so that you can manage it. Now, when I talk about diabetes, I get a lot of questions like, but you don't look like you have diabetes, or my grandma's cat also has diabetes. And so I spend a lot of time educating people about the two most common kinds of diabetes, type 1, which accounts for about 5% of people living with diabetes, and type 2, which accounts for the other 90 to 95%. The big difference is in type 1, your body doesn't make any insulin, so you have to monitor your blood sugar and take insulin for the rest of your life, period. Type 2 is a metabolic disease, and so that means that your body makes insulin, it just doesn't know how to use it. And oftentimes you can manage it with diet and exercise habits, but not always. And so this leads to the question where people say, so you have the bad kind of diabetes. To which I say, well, there are 10 kinds of diabetes, and I don't think that any of them are good kinds of diabetes. And so diabetes requires constant 24/7 management, and type 1 diabetes, above all, probably has more serious repercussions if you don't take care of it. I encourage people to know the signs and symptoms of type 1 diabetes because in adults, but especially in children, if undetected or ignored, these can lead to death very quickly within a matter of hours or days. Most importantly, I encourage you to ask people in your community if you don't know about them, because we are going to be stronger together if we know more about the people in our community and are comfortable asking, what is that and how can I help? So, speaking of questions, I get a lot of funny responses in grocery stores or the gym as to what these patches on my arm might be. Some of my favorites are a fitness tracker or a nicotine patch. A caffeine patch would be really fun. Or birth control, because people will ask you anything in public, it turns out. But I don't mind the questions. In fact, I love them because any opportunity to talk about diabetes is a good opportunity because type 1 is what we call an invisible disease. We don't look sick, but we struggle to stay alive every single day. And if you're the only kid in your school or the only adult in your community who's living with type 1, sometimes somebody just knowing what it is can be a very silent sign that you're not alone. My mission in life is to make sure that people never feel alone with this disease, and that's led me to my career as the Community Outreach Manager for JDRF Rocky Mtn. JDRF is proud to be the community charity partner tonight, so thank you so much, Ignite Denver, for allowing us to be here. JDRF is the largest global funder of type 1 diabetes in the world. There's no other organization that has an impact on type 1 diabetes like JDRF does. My job as a community outreach manager is to spread awareness at events like this and to create community events so that people living with type 1 diabetes can come together and share their stories and be together. So JDRF Rocky Mountain has several events where you can get involved, whether you have type 1 or not. At any of these events, from our walks to National Diabetes Awareness Month in November when we light the whole city of Denver blue, you can volunteer either as an individual or as a corporate group. Because of these events, JDRF is able to fund science like no other organization. Type 1 diabetes is at the forefront of medical research because of what JDRF is able to do. In Colorado alone, there's more than $15 million worth of active grants happening. Some of you might know that Colorado is the first state to pass a $100 insulin price cap, which is huge. There is no other drug, yeah, that's huge. There's no other drug that's ever been developed to treat type 1 diabetes except for insulin, which is the 6th most expensive drug on the planet. JDRF is the type of organization that is changing the world for people living with type 1 diabetes, and I am the type who believes wholeheartedly in a world without type 1 diabetes. We have a table out back. And so if you want to come by and talk to me, tell me about your type 1 connection, learn how to get involved or be a member of our Young Leadership Board, I would love to speak with you. Thank you for coming to Ignite Denver tonight.
That was amazing. You are so awesome. All righty. Well,